So right now, parents and students want to review our Zoom expectations here, and these are things that teachers will be going over with students probably the first couple days repeatedly in each class because of how important it is that students are, of course, on time. I'm going through an example from one of the houses. Each house will have a very similar schedule and then all the same Zoom expectations. So please just know that this is an example for one of the houses, our four-person house. So if your student has Bushong, Byers, Dillport, and Lightning, this is their exact schedule. If your student is in the three-person house or the two-person house, it will be similar, but may not be exactly the same. So just know, number one, Zoom expectation is be on time. And so here is an example. Your teachers will be sending out the specific schedules. You can check their Schoology pages to see the schedules, but this is the schedule to be going with. Students are expected to be on Zoom for these times, such as homeroom, first period, second period, third period. Lunch, of course, will be on their own, where they will not be on Zoom for that. They will not be on Zoom probably for the brain break or computer charge. Um, and then they'll have a few other things. Related arts, something you should know, related arts. There's no Zoom meetings for the class period of related arts. I'll let you know when the office hours will be for that. Students are expected during the related arts classes to log on to Schoology pages and complete any e-learning work that those teachers do have loaded. Be on time for your class periods. Here are the time breakdowns. Another piece to know for Zoom, unless the teacher is asking you to speak, please have your microphone muted. It should be muted at all times. Sometimes you will come in, it will automatically be muted. Other times it may not. It needs to be muted. The teacher does have the capability of muting all participants as needed, but make sure you mute your microphone. And only if you have a question or your teacher asks you a question to answer it, you unmute it at the time. But particularly when coming in at the start of class, microphones will need to be muted. When you're at home, when you are working, when you're on Zoom, it's important to make sure you find a quiet place to work so that you can hear correctly. If you have headphones or earbuds that you can plug into the laptop, that is a good thing to use as well. That will help cut out some of the noise from whatever's going on at home if there is any. But do your best to find a quiet place or have those headphones or earbuds so you can be as focused as possible during each of your classes as you are Zooming for remote learning. Pay attention and participate. Again, it's a whole different realm of learning. Many of you may not have been virtual learners last year in elementary school. We had quite a few here in the middle school. But the best way to be engaged in your education is to participate and pay attention. Your teachers are going to be cold calling you. Cold call simply means that they're going to say your name and they'll expect you to have some sort of answer, or if you don't have an answer, to at least ask a question. We know that you are engaged when you are actively participating in the Zoom session. So be sure you do so. And that could come with actually speaking, taking yourself off mute and speaking, or participating in the chat box, which a lot of students will do. Your teacher will, of course, review that with you. And here it is actually. Use the chat box to ask questions or make comments. So that is a great tool to use. Teachers know how to monitor that. All of our teachers are experienced in using Zoom. We did it all last year. Come prepared, of course, when you're at home ready to do your schooling. Make sure your computer's charged or is plugged in so that it's charged, and have a positive attitude. You know, your teachers are working hard. You know, they're coming in with positive attitude. Listen, the first few days are going to be a lot about just procedures and getting everything practiced and ready to go as teachers, go through how the learning will work. I said to them this morning, I said, have grace for yourself and have grace for your students. It's going to be a learning curve, especially the first half of the week. So just know that your teachers, Mr. Jackson, myself, Mrs. Roberts, our instructional coach, any one of the administrators could be reaching out and contacting you to assist you. Um, don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're not sure on something, ask a question. And of course, one of the school rules in general, be respectful, um, be patient, be kind. This is a new way of learning for a lot of you. And it's important that you are courteous to one another. courteous in your comments out loud, courteous in your comments in the chat box. So that's an important piece you need to remember. There still can be school discipline for students that are not following procedures or refusing to be respectful to adults or to others. Another important point, and this is from some of our learning we had last year, was that when you are on your microphone or you're come off mute and you're talking, speak as clearly as you can and loud enough so others can hear you. There's going to be times at points, whether it's next week, maybe not, or later on in the year if we happen to be in a remote situation where your teachers may ask you to work with a small group or to present something in front of the class. It's important to be able to speak clearly and loudly so others can hear you. That communication piece is so critical. And now, another very important point. Sometimes, if you log in, your first and last name will show up. At other times, it will not. Your teachers will not let you into the Zoom meeting unless your first and last name are loaded into the waiting room. You are able to change your name. Your teachers will review that with you. If you're not sure how to do that, you can contact anybody and they will help you. But your first and last name must be present. No nicknames. We're not playing jokes. We don't have time for that. First and last name must be listed with your profile when you're in the Zoom. And that concludes the Zoom expectations, parents, students that you'll need to know and recognize and be ready for come Monday. This is not the first you're going to be hearing about this. You can replay this as many times as you need to before Monday. The teachers will also be going over this on Monday as well. Thank you.